How's the same as you third? My previews are bothering me today. Normally third doesn't bother me. They bother me today. Maddie, did you keep one for yourself? Okay, perfect. So we've got like 3 minutes of wasted YouTube time of just me waiting for you to get ready to do math today. Yeah, well, at least 30 seconds worth. Yay. Jameson, when we get completely done with the notes, will you rescue all the scissors and put them in the bucket and put them back in home? Thank you. Okay, I know you know how to graph. Where am I supposed to put the negative 2?
On the y-intercept.
Okay. And then, how am I going to count? Am I counting down to left 7? Like, how am I going to count?
Up 7 over 2.
Okay, well, I would love to go up 7 and over 2, but it's really not on this thing. And then I would love to go down 7 and over 2, but let's face it, it's not really on this thing either. So,
It is on the thing.
7 is?
Yeah.
Oh, duh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 2. Thank you. I need help today.
I do too.
But the other one's not. No. Okay.
Yeah, you have that.
Okay. I see you.
That was my face when I read it. What?
Third period was like this too, and it's like I just don't understand. Like it's Monday, and I'm not this excited to be here. It's the truth, if you want the honest truth. Why are y'all so sneaking hyper? I need whatever it is y'all have. I need it.
You sure you want it?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I would have sworn 10 to the 8th means move your decimal over 8 places. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It was 3, 0, 3, 4, but I got a lot of other places to move it. So it ends up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did that right. So it ends up being 3, 0, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it ends up being 303,400,000 for the population. Meanwhile, it tells you that the land area is 3.54 times 10 to the 6. If I move my decimal over 6 places, you're driving me crazy. I would end up getting 3,540,000. Does Erin actually have to do her math like this? No, if she already understood what the exponents meant, she probably could have done it an easier way. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to show you an easier way. When it asks for population density, it even tells you number of people per square mile. So what does that mean? What math am I supposed to do today? I'm supposed to put what in the numerator? Why?
Because you have to divide.
Because that says number of people per, so meaning number of people in numerator. So 3, 0, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then 3, 5, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3. Again, and I can have some people cancel out. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. They can cancel out. So I end up getting 30340 over 354, which if you type that in your calculator or something up here. Someone has a calculator? It's D. So you get 85.7, so it ends up being D. Is there an easier way? Absolutely. That requires way too much work. Instead, we should have just done 3.034 times 10 to the 8th divided by 3.54 times 10 to the 6th. If you had done that, what is 3.034 divided by 3.54? What number is that? I need you to type it in. I need you to tell me.
57.
Are you sure? Or are you just guessing?
0.86. Yeah, it's 0.8.
Is it 0.857?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then what do we do with our exponents on the 10 because we're dividing? We subtract. So we should get 10 to the second because 8 minus 6 is 2. And then if we actually want to work that out, so we move our decimal over 2 because it's 10-2. So it ends up being 85.7. Honestly, this is a lot less work. That's the way you should do it, and that's checking in world of exponents. But either way works. Okay. So I'm banking on the fact that you actually understand how to add and subtract radicals. Add and subtract radicals. Good gravy. You already know how to do that. That you know how to add and subtract polynomials. We went over what the leading coefficient was, what the degree was. Heck, we went over how to add. We just didn't go over how to subtract, but I'm pretty sure you could follow it. And if you couldn't, I'm about to find out when I look at your checkpoint. So I gave Maggie her checkpoint. When I get done talking with these notes, the first thing I want Maggie to do is her tiny adding and subtracting checkpoint. Before she worries about anything else, I want that done. She's going to bring it to me, and she's hopefully going to get my approval. And if not, she's going to work on it until she gets my approval. As for today, the only new thing Maggie's going to learn involves this little tiny handout. So we're assuming she knows how to add and subtract. Now we're going to get into the world of multiplying. But specifically, we're going to multiply binomials. What does binomial mean?
2.
I'm so glad y'all got that. Okay. So, we're going to learn something new today. But first, let's fill in a couple things. What does it mean if it's squared? It's done times 2, right? Or times 2. It's not like... It's multiplied by itself. So we're going to say 3x plus 4 and times 3x plus 4. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the second one too. It's going to be 5m minus n times 5m minus n. The third one I don't have to fill in because it's not squared. Okay, so there are 3 kinds of problems we're going to talk about today. One where it's the same term twice with a plus sign. One where it's the same term twice, but there's a minus sign in the middle. And then the last one term has the plus, one term has the minus. It's going to be great. Okay, but in order to do all this, in order to solve these problems, we're going to use something I've showed you before, and I don't know why. I thought you'd already seen it before in life. I don't know. I've showed you how to use it before, but today we're for real going to use it. And it's an acronym, kind of like PEMDAS, that once you know it, it's hard to forget. It's called FOIL. F-O-I-L. Yes, just like what you would use in the kitchen foil. Today we're going to FOIL, which is really a fancy way of distributing. If Maggie, in fact, just wants to focus on the fact that she's distributing twice, and what I mean by that is she's going to distribute the 4 to the 3x plus 4, and she's going to distribute the 3x to the 3x plus 4. She's really just going to do super distribution. FOIL is a way of distributing. We just have a little acronym for it so it can help us with it. No, I know you already know the answers, so don't tell me the answers. Does anyone know what the F stands for in FOIL? or the O, or the I, or the L? I'll tell you this one. The F is for first. So what does that make the L for? Last. And then we're going to do O. I always heard outer, but I know if you don't like outer, if you think that sounds weird, you can say outside. And then what is that going to make the I? Inner or inside? Now, my old school teacher always told me first, outer, inner, last, so that's how it comes out with me. But if you want to do first, outside, inside, last, that is just fine. Okay, so I'm going to draw it with a picture. So let's say I do 4x plus 2, 3x plus 9. I'm not actually going to work out the math. We're just going to talk about who is the first, who is the outer, who is the inner, who is the last. First, meaning the first in each of the terms. So I'm going to multiply 4x times 3x. They're the first. So I know I'm jumping the gun, but I want to go ahead and highlight them so they feel like they fit in. So that means the last. Yes, ma'am.
Did you have Ronnie Parker?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you let me know we have something in the main office to pick up, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
So for the last, I'm going to do the 2 and the 9 multiplied together. I always draw the last this way. I don't know why I drew it below. I always do first and last above if you're trying to be OCD like me. And I do always do outer and inner below. I don't know why. I'm just a creature of habit.
We don't have an outer and an inner for this one, do we?
Not yet. We haven't done it. I'm skipped it for the moment. I'm going to come back to it. Everyone understands first meaning the 4x and the 3x. They were the first in the 2 terms. Last meaning 2 and 9. They were the last in the 2 terms. So now we have to discuss outer and inner like Maggie wanted. What do you think is going to be the outer terms?
4x and 9.
Exactly. Outer really means on the outside. They are the outer. Inner is really the 2 on the inside. So what is that going to be? Not a shunty anymore. The 2 and the 3x. So this sounds crazy, but really that's our way of making sure everybody gets multiplied. We multiply the first ones, the outside guys, the inside guys, the last guys. And then everybody's got multiplied, and we see what we can do from there. Okay, so once you have all that, that just looks crazy until we actually do it. And obviously we're going to do it 3 times today. And I'm going to try to be consistent with my colors, but we'll see how that goes. So if we're looking at our example, what is going to be the first in ours?
3x.
No more shunty. You're out. Unless it's not a FOIL-related issue. What's the first? 3x and 3x. So what do we get when we multiply those 2 things together? You can answer those kind of questions. 9x. That's it? 9x squared. Because we have x to the first times x to the first. We add those exponents and get x squared. Okay, so that's our first. And now we got to do our outside or our outer. So who am I going to multiply? Okay, Owen, you're out. What is 3x times 4? Okay, 12x. Oh, and meaning no more FOIL answers. You can give me math answers. Okay, and then who's going to be the inner? 4 and 3x, and that gives you... And then I'm almost out of room. I'm going to have to squeeze it in really tiny. What is my last?
4 times 4.
Which is? Okay. So I have 9x squared. Let me see if I can zoom in or move my stuff out of the way or something. I have 9x squared plus 12x plus 12x plus 16. Are there any questions about how I got that? First, outer, inner, last. Yes, we're going to keep doing stuff after that. Are there any questions about how FOIL worked? And Ashanti's raising his hand because we're not done, and yes, I realize that. Yes, dear.
What's the problem?
No, yeah, there's more.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else am I going to do? I'm going to combine those like terms. The 12x and the 12x go together, and what's my final answer going to be?
9x squared plus 24 plus
24
x
plus
16.
That's my final answer. That's it. And I'm out of room, so I wrote it to the left. Maybe you're not. It's really not enough space, but it's okay. So Shanti and Owen were right. We weren't done. We could combine like terms. And we got 24x because 12 plus 12 is 24. Yes, dear. Yes, I can. This one? Okay. So, if we see any more problems that are a plus b squared, that's going to happen every single time. The middle two terms are going to add together. Every single time. Every single time. So what do you think is going to happen on this middle flap with the middle two terms?
Subtract instead of add.
There, yes, they're both going to be negative, and we're going to end up with a negative middle term. Okay, so, are you good? Okay. So let's go back to this. What is the first in my next problem?
5 and 5.
Ashanti.
Oh,
You gotta stop.
sorry.
And what do I get?
25m squared.
25m squared. Okay, I got my first, and now I need my outer. What am I going to multiply?
Positive and
And what do you end up getting?
10m, negative 10. Yeah.
Wait.
5 is. Wait, you said 5 times.
Positive or negative?
I put it 10. Negative.
It is negative 5mn. So that's my outer. Now I've got to do my inner. And it is again negative 5mn. Yes, it is. And Miss Compton should have moved over a little more. She's not left herself much room for this one. What is my last?
Positive?
Positive what?
N.
N?
Wait. Class?
Yeah. Negative n times negative n is what?
Positive N.
Positive n squared.
Oh.
Because it's positive n, which is to the first, and positive n is to the first, like they're both, well, it's negative times negative. But anyway, we add the exponents. 1 plus 1 is 2. It should be n squared. So I've written that really tiny. Thankfully, I'm going to write it again over here. Is there anyone that can combine?
Yes, positive.
And what would my final answer be then?
Positive 25.
Positive 25, m.
Yeah, and
Okay, and then what?
I'm confused.
Now what? Positive 25m squared. Now what? What's my middle? Which is what? We're combining. Minus 10mn. And then what's my last?
what?
Plus n squared. Thank you, Will.
Plus N squared is not minus?
Negative times negative was positive.
I know, but I thought we were subtracting everything.
What?
What?
We put that negative 5 and that negative 5 together and we made negative 10. That's the only minuses I see.
Yeah, but we're subtracting, we're not adding. We're subtracting. That's why I thought.
Oh, you mean on the outer flap subtracting? Is that what you're talking about?
No, at the very end. That's why. Because
No,
We're
because
not
negative
adding.
n ends up being positive because negative times negative is positive. Positive n squared.
I know, but I thought.
Okay.
I
Are you
thought-
better now?
Yes.
Okay. Notice on our first example, which was the plus flap, we got a positive doubled middle term. On the second flap, which was a minus, we got a negative doubled middle term. And now, if you had to guess what's going to happen on this third and final flap, what do you think is going to happen? It has a positive and a negative, so what's going to happen to it?
It's going to be negative.
It's going to end up canceling out. So we're going to end up not having a middle term at all. So let's try it out and make sure Aaron's not completely crazy today. What is my first? Which is,
Times X equal to.
I heard 2x, is that right? Oh, thank goodness. X squared. Just checking me today. Okay, and then my outer,
X and negative 3y.
which is going to make what?
Negative 3y.
Okay, I'm going to do negative 3xy just because I'm an alphabet person. You understand what I mean by that. It's just best that way in life. And then what's going to be my inner?
3y.
Okay, again, I'm going to be an alphabet person and make that 3xy. I got 3yx, 3xy, same thing. I'm just an alphabet person. I can't help it. And then for the last, What am I gonna get? I heard, but what are you missing, Maggie?
Y.
Maggie. He's giving you the answers. It's not just negative 9y. What is it?
I don't know. Oh, squared.
Squared. Negative 9y squared. Because it was y times y. So we add our exponents. She's not going to miss that. I'm positive. Okay, and then Aaron was right, and I heard Owen say it too because he was excited about it. What happens? The middle term cancels out. We have a negative 3xy and a positive 3xy. They go away. So my final answer is 0. What's my final answer? Oh, man. Perfect. That's seriously all we're doing today. That's all. Well, I mean, I have an assignment to go with it, but yeah, that's all we're doing today. Please, I always have things. Do you have to color?